Dr. Barbara O'Neill, her popularity, her top 20 suggestions, and why Big Pharma wants to keep her silent. Have you ever heard of Dr. Barbara O'Neill? Or maybe stumbled across some of her groundbreaking health tips? Dr. Barbara O'Neill has become a prominent figure in the medical world for her unconventional, yet impactful recommendations on treating common ailments through alternative medicine. But her growing influence has not come without controversy. In this video, I'll uncover who Dr. O'Neill is, why Big Pharma is eager to keep her quiet, and highlight some of her most renowned alternative medicine suggestions. Let's get started. Dr. Barbara O'Neill is an Australian promoter of alternative healthcare. Born and raised in Australia, she believes there are better and safer ways to treat diseases without harming the body. With a proof of her practice dating back to 2004, she has supported her claims by publishing several books on homemade remedies for various diseases. She has also shared her suggestions at wellness retreats, alternative medicine organizations, and Seventh-day Adventist churches, where she is an active member. Her husband, Michael O'Neill, founded the now-defunct Informed Medical Options Party, an anti-vaccination and anti-fluoride political party. Together as a partner, they run the Misty Mountain Health Retreat. Now sit back and relax as we take you through 20 of Barbara O'Neill's most famous and mind-blowing suggestions. I'm positive that you won't want to miss any of this. Number 20. Daily legume consumption aid in effective weight loss. Dr. Barbara explains that legumes provide a slow, steady release of fuel, keeping blood sugar stable and preventing spikes that may lead to overeating. She recommends soaking legumes like black beans overnight to reduce bloating some people may experience after eating them. Including legumes in your diet will significantly aid in your weight loss journey. Number 19. Eliminating carbohydrates from your diet will make you lose weight. Dr. Barbara also stresses the importance of cutting back on refined carbohydrates and focusing instead on complex carbs from sources like whole grains, vegetables, and legumes. She once shared the story of a retired judge named Henry, who joined her health program while dealing with obesity and 6 different health conditions. Barbara put him on a regimen that eliminated refined carbohydrates, replaced them with unrefined grains, and introduced more vegetables, nuts, and seeds to help balance the acid levels in his body and prevent acidosis. After following this diet for about 2 years, Henry returned to Dr. Barbara, having lost an impressive 154 pounds or 70 kilos. Number 18. Hawthorn berry tea for controlling blood pressure. Dr. Barbara suggests that drinking hawthorn berry tea a couple of times a day can help reduce blood pressure substantially. In addition, she advises eliminating coffee and alcohol while maintaining a well-balanced diet with minimal or no carbohydrates. As she described in the retired judge's story, after participating in her health and wellness retreat for a week, the judge decided to take some hawthorn berry tea as Dr. Barbara recommended. When he returned several weeks later, he had lost about 88 pounds or 40 kilos, while strictly following Dr. Barbara's regimen. Number 17. Exercise doesn't help with quick weight loss. Barbara explains that, on average, an overweight person only burns about 140 calories per exercise session, which isn't enough for significant weight loss. Instead, Dr. Barbara developed an eating plan that she believes is more effective for losing weight. As mentioned earlier, Dr. Barbara believes carbohydrates cause more harm than good to the body, so she eliminates them completely in her suggested diet plan. Number 16. A drop of castor oil helps strengthen eyesight. Dr. Barbara believes castor oil can help reduce the symptoms of glaucoma and cataracts. She suggests placing a drop of castor oil on each eyelid to help dissolve the unnatural layer of cataracts in the eyes. Additionally, it can prevent tear evaporation and reduce dryness in the eyes. Try this for a month or 2. Number 15. Sunshine replenishes the eyes. According to Dr. Barbara, wearing medical glasses weakens the eyes and should be avoided as much as possible. She revealed that sunlight plays a crucial role in revitalizing vision. Sunshine helps the body produce vitamin D, which can help boost eye health. Spending at least 3 hours in the sun may help reduce the risk of becoming nearsighted or myopic. Not something your doctor would typically tell you, right? Number 14. Effective herbal eye wash. Dr. Barbara suggests an eye wash made from the golden seal plant, eye bright, and water to treat sore, eyes bloodshot, and dry eyes. Eye bright is known to help manage inflammation in the cornea. Simply place half a teaspoon of ground golden seal and eye bright into a cup of boiling water. Strain it and use the mixture to wash your eyes several times a day. Number 13. Alkaline-based foods help prevent cancer and fight other diseases. Dr. Barbara explains that cancer loves and thrives in an environment rich in acid, sugar, and low oxygen. Consuming alkaline-based foods while moderating acidic foods helps maintain the body's pH balance, thereby boosting the body's defense system against diseases like cancer. She listed foods such as lemons, dark leafy greens, tomatoes, and certain legumes as examples of alkaline-based foods to incorporate into your daily diet. Number 12. Calcium supplements do not help with bone health. Dr. Barbara suggests that consuming calcium supplements do not really improve bone health. Instead, she recommends certain foods like whole salt, such as Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, dark green leafy vegetables, and sesame seeds, which contain a broader range of calcium and other minerals essential for bone health. Number 11. 3 essential oils that will nourish your scalp and strengthen your hair. Dr. Barbara recommends a combination of half a cup of castor oil, half a cup of coconut oil, and 10 drops of rosemary oil massaged into the scalp once a week. This mixture helps nourish and strengthen your hair, thereby preventing hair loss. Number 10. Taking Celtic salt with water. We all know how essential water is to our lives, making it the second most vital element after oxygen. Dr. Barbara points out that placing a small crystal of Celtic salt, which contains 82 minerals, on your tongue before drinking water is one of the fastest ways to hydrate the body. If you're having trouble with frequent bathroom visits after drinking a glass of water, then this might be worth a try. Number 9. A natural remedy to take care of your teeth. Dr. Barbara suggests rinsing the mouth after every meal with seawater or a mixture of sodium bicarbonate and water, followed by flossing to remove food particles stuck between the teeth. She also recommends oil pulling, which involves swishing a tablespoon of oil, typically coconut oil, around in the mouth for about 10 to 15 minutes. This process is thought to help pull out bacteria and toxins from the mouth, binding them to the oil, which is then spit out. This is important because food caught between the teeth starts to decay, therefore creating a home for microorganisms. Number 8. Coconut as an essential oil for a healthy lifestyle. Although coconut oil wasn't widely popular before, it has recently gained attention due to its health benefits. Dr. Barbara suggests taking coconut oil regularly as a dietary supplement to improve brain function, enhance skin health, and aid in weight management. It can also help in preventing Alzheimer's disease. Number 7. Berries and grapefruit are excellent for blood sugar management. Both fruits have low glycemic indexes, berries at 26 and grapefruit at 25, making them the most suitable for managing blood sugar levels. Dr. Barbara recommends combining these fruits with healthy oils to not only manage blood sugar, but also help in maintaining body weight. Number 6. The best eating plan for effective weight loss and a healthy lifestyle. Dr. Barbara teaches that for breakfast, you should eat whole grain cereals with fruit and coconut cream. These foods are rich in fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants, which aid in weight loss. Coconut cream, considered a healthy fat, contains MCTs or medium-chain triglycerides, which work like fiber to make you feel full and reduce the amount of food you consume. For lunch, she suggests eating more vegetables and protein sources because vegetables contain antioxidants, fiber, and added water content that help you feel full, thus reducing your overall food intake. For dinner, Dr. Barbara recommends keeping it a light meal. Number 5. Time-restricted eating as an effective tool for weight loss. Time-restricted eating is a style where you train your body to eat only when hungry, with intermittent fasting being a prime example. Dr. Barbara O'Neill believes that the last meal of the day should be light, as a heavy meal doesn't have enough time to digest before bed. Consuming heavy meals at dinner can lead to poor digestion and weight gain. She recommends eating heavy meals during the day, particularly at lunch. Having substantial meals in the morning and afternoon can help you skip dinner if you're willing to follow this eating pattern. Number 4. Use of antibiotics is not essential for pregnant mothers. One of Dr. Barbara's more controversial suggestions is that antibiotics have a high possibility of causing cancer and are not necessary for pregnant women. She claims that taking antibiotics during pregnancy to protect the unborn child against strep B is unnecessary, stating that no child has ever died due to contracting strep B during birth. However, data from the Royal Australian and New Zealand College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists contradicts her claim. Their data shows that 14% of newborns who contract early-onset strep B are at risk of death, and that taking antibiotics can significantly reduce the risk of infection. Number 3. Unpasteurized goat milk as an alternative to breast milk. Dr. Barbara O'Neill advises parents who cannot breastfeed their babies to use alternatives like unpasteurized goat milk or a mix of almond milk with dates or bananas. This suggestion has been labeled dangerous and misleading by Professor Jane Scott, co-author of the National Health and Medical Research Council, or NHMRC, on infant feeding guidelines. She warns that this advice, if followed, poses a real danger to infants, as it may not support the healthy growth and development of the child. Dr. Barbara completely rejects the NHMRC feeding guidelines for health practitioners, which contains recommendations based on research conducted. She claimed that she hasn't read them before and that she would refuse to. Number 2. Anti-vaccination advocate. Dr. Barbara O'Neill discourages vaccination, claiming that any form of immunization is harmful to children. She suggested that a child could naturally build immunity against diseases like tetanus by simply drinking plenty of water, going to bed early, avoiding junk food, and playing outside. Dr. Barbara was also involved in the No Jab, No Pay campaign initiative, which sought to oppose government policies that tied parental tax benefits to up-to-date vaccination status. It's quite surprising, right? Now let's move on to her most famous suggestion. Number 1. Baking soda cures cancer. As wild as it may sound, Dr. Barbara O'Neill claims that cancer is just a fungus and can be treated with the use of just baking soda. She insisted that a doctor had cured 90% of his cancer patients using baking soda injections, though no evidence was ever provided to support this claim. In 2019, a Cook Island man diagnosed with stage 4 cancer died after rejecting conventional medical treatment in favor of Dr. Barbara's suggestion, using only baking soda, hot water, and lemon juice. This tragedy caused an uproar in the medical community, while the conventional medical practitioners cited the incident as proof that Dr. Barbara's advice was really dangerous. Her supporters claimed that a man had been in remission for 2 years before his death, arguing that Dr. Barbara O'Neill's suggestions on cancer treatment wasn't the cause of his death. However, Dr. Barbara's claim about curing cancer shook the medical world in Australia, drawing the attention of the Healthcare Complaints Commission, or HCCC, radar. The commission, after receiving a series of complaints regarding her activities, especially her claims on cancer treatment, vaccination, and infant nutrition, decided to launch a series of investigations to ascertain the truth. The investigation concluded that Barbara does not have any form of medical qualification and didn't even finish her nursing training. This was therefore considered a threat in the conventional medical field. It also stated that she was providing dangerous advice to vulnerable patients, risking their health in the process, and that she failed to meet the expected standards of unregistered health professionals. As quoted by the HCCC, Mrs. O'Neill doesn't recognize that she is misleading vulnerable people by providing very selective information. The commission discovered that Barbara's suggestions were based on ideas supported by Tullio Simoncini, who is a disgraced Italian former oncologist and an advocate for alternative medicine. Tullio Simoncini was in prison for fraud and manslaughter following the death of one of his patients. The HCCC also claimed that some of Barbara's suggestions were based on the views of doctors who were sued by their patients for not providing appropriate medical care. When she was asked to provide evidence of her practice to back up her claims to the HCCC, Barbara admitted that she couldn't provide any evidence but still emphasize that her suggestions are credible. Barbara and her husband's Misty Mountain Health Retreat Center was investigated by the Australian Charities and Non-for-Profits Commission (ACNC) for alleged breaching of the Australian charity law. The retreat had received government grants and various tax concessions under its health promotion charity status. In a bid to defend its status, the charity claimed that it had provided health advice, diet and exercise to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, and also people with terminal illnesses, getting its nickname the Aboriginal Center. Unfortunately, Misty Mountain finally lost its charity status in 2021. In 2019, while she was in Fiji during one of her trips to a training school, Barbara received an email from the HCCC, which was about 17 pages long. The email contained complaints lodged against her to the HCCC from 2018 to 2019 regarding her unconventional suggestions. The HCCC ultimately found that Barbara's practice had breached 5 clauses of the Code of Conduct for Unregistered Health Practitioners, and that she should be considered to pose a risk to the health and safety of the general public. Unfortunately, Barbara was then banned from giving any form of health lectures and health advice, paid or unpaid. And if she was to get caught, she would be fined $10,000 with an option of a prison sentence of 10 years. Following the ruling, Barbara filed an online petition calling for the HCCC to reverse the ruling on her case. She also claimed that she is a victim of Nazi-style campaign propaganda. With the help of social media platforms like YouTube, Barbara's video presentations became more famous and were watched about 700,000 times despite being banned by the HCCC. She continues to conduct lectures in New Zealand and the United States, where they have picked more interest in her practices. Dr. Barbara continues to hold lectures and health retreats in several places around the world to share her knowledge on alternative medicine. In October 2019, a few months after her case with the HCCC, Barbara was scheduled to deliver a wellness program at the Living Springs Retreat and the United States. The retreat promoted her as a qualified naturopath, lecturer, nutritionist, and an author. Intrigued? Yes, you should be. There you have it, the top 20 Dr. Barbara O'Neill suggestions. Although some of Barbara's suggestions may be questionable, others might be worth exploring. What do you think about her suggestions? Have you ever tried any of her ideas, or are you planning to? Let's know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates.